Okay, I welcome you again to this other channel. Today, I'm going to talk briefly about uh, the major reason as to why most of the civil servants are lagging behind financially, or in simple terms, you can call them being poor. I know it doesn't matter how many you are, how many um, years you've earned, how many buildings you've tried to put at home, how many cars you own. But now, at the bottom of it all, I want you to ask yourself a question. If you stopped working today, eh, how many more months can you survive with the same lifestyle that you are living today? You're welcome again. I want us to share just something small. And basically, I want you to meditate upon this other statement. Why are most of the public servants poor? Just to draw a little back your attention, I remember it was January 2021. I was going somewhere, then they dropped me around some point, and this border person was to return. He found there a teacher who was coming in the direction where we were coming from, and that is where the border man was exactly coming after dropping me. To my dismay, this border man knew that this was a teacher. The teacher requested that he was coming this other direction. Could he drop him back? The border man refused, and he said, I cannot carry teachers on my border. I don't know that you've got the statement. He said, I cannot carry teachers on my border. I was concerned. I dug a deep. I wanted to know where this guy lives, his lifestyle. It was later when I found that even the border he was riding wasn't his. But he was minimizing a teacher. You know, there's that other feeling in the society that teachers are poor. Please, colleagues, being poor is really a bad thing that even people you are better than, in the actual sense, will undermine you. That was bad. I want us to basically just look at this other topic briefly. This can, being poor is not permanent. And as I always say, being born poor is not your fault. But when you die when you're poor, is basically your fault. It is not a permanent situation. Poverty can be eradicated. Look, the most serious reason as to why most of the civil servants are poor is just lack of financial literacy. I know I may not be the best to talk about this other topic because people will be saying, what has he done? Maybe they already made billionaires and the people who would talk about this other topic. But take the example of teachers. They teach students. When you're going to teach about a certain topic, it doesn't matter that you must know everything. Remember, the more you talk about some certain topic, the deeper you get its understanding. That is why, if they teach for many years, sometimes they even go to classes without any notes. They just go with their head, they just need the concept, and they can have matter to talk about there and then. So, when I talk about some certain things, I just want to bring to our attention a few things that we can do. Not that I know much, not that I am already a step far away from where you are. Not really. So let's just share this briefly. Financial literacy is the ability to control and manage your finances. Get it? In other words, it is going to involve budgeting for your finances. I like the definition of budgeting when they say budgeting is simply directing your money where to go, other than wondering where your money went. Right? So, in the management of financial issues or finances, one has to differentiate what assets are and what liabilities are. So, I don't again want to bring in the definition of assets like in accounts and entrepreneurship. I know that assets, the way they are defined, is going to be so different from how I'm going to define assets here. And an asset is just going to be anything that puts cash. The word is puts cash or money into your pockets. And on the other hand, guess what? Liabilities do the opposite. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. So I want us to just briefly talk about some example here. I know there's that other confusion about a house being an asset. A house and then a car or vehicles. Well, a house can be an asset and at the same time it can be a liability. If a house is a commercial house, I'm talking of those that build in the centers like those others that are rented or hired as shops, then those who have got rental rooms. If you're building a house for basically renting it out, then that is an asset. But if you're building a house when it is residential, then it is what? A liability. A residential house, that is a liability. You just spend on renovating it, painting, putting on maybe, doing water harvest on it, fixing in nice doors. There is no at any one moment when these other things will pay you back even a penny. But commercial houses, when the month ends or a given period, you go and you collect money, which means it puts money into your pocket. Then, when you look at a car, these other cars like a self-drive, Harrier, Corona, Epsom, Prado, those are liabilities. Please, colleagues, before you go in for this other life, be prepared. People who go in for this have already made money, have already bought assets. So they do not basically use their salaries to service these cars, to fuel these cars. The money that does that comes from a passive income. Now you find the civil servants struggling to go in for a car, building a big house. I will talk about that. So when you have a taxi, when you have a truck, a lorry truck, could be a tipper, these are assets. But a Corona, Prado, those are liabilities. A taxi is an asset in such a way that it fuels itself, like the money that comes out. It pays its driver and pays its boss. If you had a chance to buy a taxi, if you have the money to buy a taxi, it would be wise to hold on to buying a car and buy a taxi, or even a truck. Could be a tipper truck. It brings in money, it services itself, other than a car. Look, levels of financial literacy. How does one become financially literate? You need to master this other process. The first one is going to be making money. The second level will be keeping money. And the third level will be multiplying money. Now, making money is the first level, and almost all of us know how to make money. You could be earning a salary. But keeping money and investing is another. I hope I'll talk about these others in details in my next video. Don't go away, hold on a little. Before I continue this other video, maybe before I conclude, I want you to master something about keeping money. Keeping money, there are people I know who earn it today, and the next day their money is over. Please, it is always said that money that is made, part of it is consumed and part of it is kept or saved. Don't save just for mere saving. I've heard of people who have had circles, they keep in the bank. The best way is to make that money be multiplied. That is another level that must be learned. Multiplying money is a skill that I'm going to talk in the next video. I'll talk about in the next video. So if you've not considered subscribing, maybe you can subscribe so that you're notified every time I drop a new video. I know it could make sense to you, it could make no sense to you, but even in what you call no sense, it can mean some sense to somebody. That is why I appeal to you, before you quit, kindly share with a colleague, might see some sense in it. And subscribe, next time you might see sense in what I'll talk about. Thank you.